If you're wondering which budget action cameras are worth your money, stick around. After we run through each product, I'll give you my personal take. Would I buy it or would I skip it? No fluff, just my honest opinion. Let's get into it. SJCAM SJ11. This little guy shoots some surprisingly sharp 4K video for what you're paying. And the stabilization is good enough to make your shaky hands look almost professional. Plus, it's waterproof up to 5 meters without a case. But take it into a dark room and it starts to get noisier than a bag of chips in a library. So your ghost hunting videos might just end up looking like a mess of digital grain. Would I buy it? Yes. For the price, it's a steal if you want good-looking 4K footage and decent stabilization without having to sell a kidney.
SJCAM SJ20. This camera is like the weird cousin of an Insta360, rocking 2 separate lenses for day and night, with the night lens having a super wide f1.3 aperture that's pretty cool for a budget cam. The image quality and stabilization are actually pretty damn good, and the front screen is a nice touch for checking your face before you hit record. However, the build feels a bit cheap, and you have to take the whole battery off just to get to the memory card, which is just an unbelievably annoying design flaw. Would I buy it? Maybe, if you are absolutely obsessed with having a dedicated low-light lens and you're willing to put up with its quirky, slightly frustrating personality and the fact it might just tear a hole in your pocket.
AKASO Brave 7. The Brave 7 is a solid budget option that gets you decent 4K video at 30 frames per second, and it has dual screens so you can make sure you look good while you're talking to the camera. It also comes with 2 batteries and is waterproof on its own, which is more than you can say for some cameras that cost twice as much. The downside is the built-in microphone sounds like you're recording in the middle of a tornado, and the image stabilization is just okay, so don't expect buttery smooth footage while you're running from a wild boar. Would I buy it? Yes. It's a killer deal for someone who just wants to capture their adventures without spending a ton of cash, as long as you plan on using an external microphone for your audio.
AKASO EK7000. This thing is dirt cheap and boasts 4K video, though it's at a choppy 25 frames per second, but for the price, who's complaining? It also comes with a mountain of accessories and 2 batteries, so you get a lot of stuff for your money. The problem is, the still photos are barely good enough for Instagram, and turning on the electronic image stabilization adds a loud, obnoxious buzzing sound to your videos, which is a massive bummer. Would I buy it? No, not unless you're specifically trying to make a silent movie and don't mind your footage being a little shaky. That audio buzz is a total deal breaker.
SJCAM SJ4000. For a camera that's been on the market for what feels like forever, the 1080p video quality is still pretty sharp and clear, making it a reliable workhorse for basic footage. It's also incredibly cheap, and there's a Wi-Fi version so you can control it with a slightly terrible app on your phone. But man, the built-in microphone is absolute trash. It's useless in low light, and every time you swap the battery, it completely resets all your settings, which is just infuriating. Would I buy it? Maybe, if you are completely broke and just need a simple dash cam that records decent video in daylight and you couldn't care less about audio.
Kodak PIXPRO SP360. This thing looks like a security dome from a 7-Eleven, but it shoots 360-degree video, which is a fun party trick if you want to make your friends dizzy. It boasts 4K quality, but with a single lens, the footage can still look a bit soft, like a memory from a dream you can't quite remember. Would I buy it? Maybe, if I found it at a garage sale and wanted to film my cat's confusion from every possible angle for cheap.
AKASO V50 Elite. So this camera screams I'm a GoPro alternative with its 4K at 60 frames per second video, but its stabilization is more like a gentle suggestion than a rule, so it's nowhere near as smooth as a Hero 7. It does give you awesome colors straight out of the camera and a boatload of accessories, but you lose stabilization at those higher frame rates, which feels like getting a sports car that you have to drive in a school zone. Would I buy it? Yes, if my main goal was to get decent-looking 4K footage on a tight budget and I did not plan on moving the camera at all.
RunCam Thumb Pro. This camera is so light at 16 grams that a strong gust of wind might file a flight plan for it. It's practically designed to be taped to a racing drone. It delivers surprisingly good 4K footage and plays nice with gyroflow stabilization software, but it has no battery, so you have to power it with your drone, which is like buying a phone that only works when it's plugged in.
Would I buy it? Yes, if I were building a tiny cinematic drone and needed the lightest 4K camera on the planet, because in that world, every gram is sacred.
GoPro Hero7 Black. Ah, the granddaddy of smooth video. The hyper-smooth stabilization on this thing is still so good it feels like black magic, turning my shaky mountain biking footage into something that looks like it was shot on a dolly track. The downside is that it's an older model of the screen can be a bit unresponsive, and trying to use voice commands makes you feel like you're arguing with a stubborn toddler. Would I buy it? Yes, because it's a former flagship that's now a bargain, offering rock-solid performance and waterproofing without a case, making it the best value GoPro you can get if you don't need the latest bells and whistles.
Apex Cam M80 Air. This camera is the definition of a budget find, offering 4K video from a Sony sensor and a waterproof case that lets you take it 130 feet deep, which is deeper than my commitment to most things. However, the battery life can be a bit sad, and the software feels like it could use a few more updates. So it's a bit of a gamble on whether you get a gem or a paperweight. Would I buy it? No, because while it's tempting to get 4K for the price of a fancy dinner, the potential for battery and software headaches makes me want to just order the steak instead. Apex Cam K20. This little guy boasts 4K recording at 60 frames per second, but honestly, the 4K is kinda laggy and gobbles up storage like a hungry hippo, so you're better off sticking to the smoother 1080p. The image stabilization does a decent job, though it makes things a bit fuzzy, and the external dual battery charger is a godsend for not overheating your camera. Would I buy it? Maybe. If you can forgive the fact you can't zoom while recording, which is just a bizarre design choice that makes me question everything.
AKASO Brave 7LE. So this one comes out swinging with a front-facing screen for all your selfie shot needs, a feature that took GoPro ages to figure out. It's weatherproof, shoots in 4K, and they give you 2 batteries, which is pretty generous. It's basically the camera that tries to be a GoPro without making your wallet cry, and it almost gets there. Would I buy it? Yes, because it's a solid all-arounder for the price, even if you have to buy their specific external mic if you want to sound less like you're talking through a tin can.
Sony AZ1. This camera is so tiny and light, you might actually forget you're carrying it, and the image stabilization is surprisingly good for its size. It delivers smooth 1080p video at 60 frames per second, perfect for capturing your epic fails in glorious high definition. But man, the battery life is a complete joke. We're talking 15 minutes if you dare turn on the Wi-Fi, which you need to do to change any settings at all. Would I buy it? No, because while it's cute and small, its performance in low light is terrible, and the battery will die before you can even do anything cool.
SJCAM C300. This camera is like a transformer. It can be a tiny, pocket-sized spy cam, or you can snap on a bigger battery and a second screen for vlogging. It shoots 4K, has a 20-megapixel lens, and is fantastic for getting those behind-the-scenes shots for your social media empire. The audio quality is pretty meh, though, and you can't plug in a better microphone, so your beautiful voice might sound a bit muffled. Would I buy it? Yes, this thing is a versatile little beast for content creators, as long as you can deal with the tiny touchscreen icons that are a nightmare for anyone with normal-sized fingers.
AKASO Brave 4. This camera is the king of good enough, offering decent 4K video and 20-megapixel photos for a price that won't require you to sell a kidney. The image stabilization is surprisingly effective, making your shaky cam adventures look almost professional. And you can change the viewing angle to get that perfect shot. But get this, it has no touchscreen, so you'll be mashing buttons like you're trying to enter a cheat code in a 90s video game. Would I buy it? Maybe, if you're on a super tight budget and don't mind that the 4K isn't true native 4K and the 1080p quality is pretty bad.
SJCAM SJ10 Pro. This thing shoots in native 4K at 60 frames per second, and it's waterproof up to 5 meters without a case, which is pretty neat for a budget cam. The stabilization is a big step up from the SJ8 Pro, but it shits the bed if you try to use it at the highest resolutions, and some users report corrupted video files, so it's a bit of a gamble. Would I buy it? Maybe, if you feel like playing the lottery with your footage and don't need top-tier stabilization for intense action.
SJCAM SJ8 Pro. It boasts true 4K at 60 frames per second thanks to its Amberella chip,
and it comes with a ton of accessories right out of the box, making it a great value. However, the battery life is a joke at only 90 minutes when shooting in 4K, and the audio quality is notoriously poor, so your epic shredding videos will sound like they were recorded with a potato. Would I buy it? No, unless you enjoy carrying a pocket full of batteries and don't mind your audio sounding like a fart in the wind.
Insta360 GO 3S. This camera is ridiculously tiny, smaller than my thumb, and shoots in 4K, making it perfect for getting unique angles you can't get with a bigger camera. But the image quality isn't gonna blow your mind, it has a recording limit of 30 minutes, and it's on the pricier side for a budget cam, which makes you wonder what they were thinking. Would I buy it? Yes, if you're a content creator who needs a tiny, versatile camera for creative shots and can live with its limitations. Otherwise, your phone is probably just as good.
Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you pick the budget action cameras for you. If you have any questions, drop a comment below. Links to all of these products mentioned in this video will be in the description.